Hey there. A bit of an impromptu share here, but I felt called to put this on video, and I'm actually not sure if I'm going to post this anywhere, if I post it on Instagram or maybe in the Rise of the Creatrix community. If so, hi. It may also be something that is just for me to process later. This is it's a tool I often use to help me process certain things. I'll capture it on video. And by the way, for anybody who is looking to practice visibility and sharing and articulating what's coming up for you, this is an incredible way to do it. And I often will coach my women who work with me around doing this practice, whether it's just a video for them or eventually something that they do want to share with others. So I was sitting right now with this feeling of just feeling a combination of things that I can't quite put my finger on it. But the primary feeling is that of kind of being a little bit lost. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, right? I'm all right. So, and I think the reason for it is, I think what generated is earlier today I sent an email where I was talking about visibility. And it's an email that I felt really proud of in terms of really coming from a place of a lot of conviction and belief in what I know that a lot of us are meant to really work on and activate right now. And part of the teachings that I'm meant to share with the world. We all have something we're meant to teach. And like I said, and even in the subject of my email, I called it the teachings come in waves. And the way I experience this is I will get these inklings, and it almost feels like a drum beat where it's like, boom, this thing that I'm meant to share, talk about, teach on, it starts to show up in different areas of my life. And this topic of visibility and this theme and this energy of visibility is one that has been around for a while. And I see that that's one of the strengths that I've had as a coach and as a guide and as a mentor, is helping other women heal the fears they have around visibility and actually build that muscle and become more visible and become, basically, when I say visibility, I'm talking about using your voice. I'm talking about whether you're called to be on video or you're called to create a podcast or you're called to write, or, just feeling more comfortable in your skin with sharing things that you might be afraid others are going to judge. We have all these fears and they show up in very sneaky ways. And in this email, I was talking about how so much of this is this cellular programming that we carry from way back. Ancestral programming from our own past, like our own life and our past, the messages we may have either heard ourselves or experienced around us. And by the way, I'm laughing right now. Cosmic connections. Because I just before pressing record on this video, I texted my friend Tam, and her and I are always very connected. And I just said, hey, buddy, I'm moving through something here, wanted to share. I said, I'm having feelings. It's not so much pain. It feels like it's expressing itself as pain, but it's not so much pain. I said, it's more like feeling lost. And she said, I just send you a bat signal. Because, of course, it sounds like she's experiencing something similar. And she says there are, cosmic upgrades happening. And I believe in this. And I know that might sound a little like cuckoo for some people, but I'm okay with that. That's been part of my stretch into visibility, is being perfectly okay with the language that I use and the how I understand energy to work and how I see the world. It's through a different lens. But more and more I find other incredible women and men who see the world through this lens as well. It's almost like a non-lens. The way I experience it is like the lens is kind of removed. And so you see this renewed reality. So, and this is all tied to the whole visibility conversation. And so this email today, I shared how, so we carry this cellular memory of ancestral healing that can cause a lot of pain. And so today I was feeling kind of lost. And I think the feeling lost is because I sent that email out into the world, and it felt like a really important statement for me to say. And it's not new. It's something I've said in other ways, but it was just like this, like, okay, here it is, this bubbling up of this is really important. And part of the email was an invitation for the new membership that I'm creating called the Creatrix Collective that I have created, it exists, it is here. And the whole intention of this collective is for us precisely to upgrade in these ways. And the way I see it and the way it's being shared with me, when I say being shared with me, it's from, my connection to guides and my spirit guides, my spirit team, my higher self, what I sit in meditation, what I've received in my Akashic record readings, all these things. There's a very intuitive knowing of I get to share these. They come up for me as codes. I call them Creatrix codes. And one of them is visibility. Another one is focus. Another is flexibility. Notice that these are very common things. There's no rocket science here. And yet, unlocking and activating this code, this Creatrix code of visibility, there's a way that I'm meant to basically bring it forward and connect with others and connect the dots for others in a way that they will resonate with. That's basically what I believe all of us have within us. We all have a specific way of teaching something quite universal that's accessible to everybody, but you have a specific way of showing it, of teaching it. You have a specific set of experiences and a connection to this information that, again, is not exclusive to you, but you are meant to transmit it forward. And so I sent that email out, and I guess I thought I was going to get a bigger response from it, and I didn't. Meaning more replies, or that people would actually want to jump onto the program from knowing, hey, let's work on this whole, let's crack the code of visibility. Let's, and when I say code, it's also this piece of reprogramming. So there's a lot of old programming that we are releasing. And so in order to reprogram ourselves, we get to first be aware of what it is. And it's understand and be introduced to the concept of, oh, do I have a fear around visibility? Do I have a particular wall that I get to break through here? And what's available for me? And that's where the teaching comes in to inspire us into what's possible. It's okay, that opening of the door. Then we begin to heal. So healing the wounds around the fear of being seen, the fear of being heard, the fear of expressing ourselves, our story, our gifts, sharing our truth. We've been wearing so many masks our entire lives. There's a mask we wear to the world at large, and there's different masks that we wear for different people, different circumstances. And for a lot of us women who are in this space of sharing a message, building a company, writing a book, art, we're blazing a trail in some way in our lives. There can be this sense of oh, I got to get on stage to do this thing, and then I get off stage. That's another way it shows up. And my missions is to help us blend who we are. It's understand who we truly are and not who we think we get to be. Who we think we've got to be is that stage that we walk on. I hope I'm making sense. It's who we think we need to be in a certain circumstances or for a certain person. Who we are is our truth. And so as we reprogram the old beliefs and the old programming that, in this case, causes us to be afraid of being seen, then we unlock this freedom. And so, and see, it's even helping me as I talk this through, right? This is why this is such a powerful practice. I encourage you to try it out. So I thought I was going to get a better, That's an interesting word to use. I thought it was going to get a more vocal response in terms of replies in the email, or women asking about, hey, I want to know more about this. Basically, if I think about the outcome and the intention of that email, it was to spark something in the recipient and kind of like beckon them closer. Now, of course, that might be happening, right? People read emails at different times. People receive information when they need to. So that's not to say that that's not happening, that the intention isn't happening, because I believe and I trust in timing as well. But it's just interesting to notice my feelings. And what I get from this is when we are in that space of feeling kind of like lost, like, oh, it's like we do something that feels important and we may not get the response we thought we would. What's the choice that we make? And sneak peek, this has a lot to do with conviction. And conviction is the code that's coming up for me to work on in April, meaning that's what I'm going to teach about. March is all about visibility. April is about conviction. Still coming into May and what's coming up there. Blossoming is something that's coming up. It's not quite blossoming, but there's something about like this cracking open, or yeah. And this is how it happens. This is why the teachings come in waves. And I sit with it and I ask for confirmation, and I ask for additional input and insight, and I become a student of it as well. I become a student in my own life, in my meditation, in what I'm reading and what I'm experiencing, in what I'm picking up from the conversations around me, because inevitably when I know that I'm leaning into a teaching that is coming through, I will hear it again and again and again from lots of sources, lots of women around the world that have no connection. They will pop with this same idea. So I know, I'm like, oh, okay, we're going in the right direction. And as I say that, even today, the first person that replied to the email, my dear friend, former client, an incredible woman, Paola Rodriguez, she replied back right away and she said, I have visibility, the word visibility written everywhere around me in Post-it notes and my journals. She said, this is something I've really been working with, so I feel this. And then I got another reply from someone who said, I resonate with your email, but I'm not sure about what this code thing is. And then that kind of threw me for a loop. And I was like, oh, am I not making sense? Like, this is one of those ego moments when I'm like, shoot, what now? So then it's like, okay, well, am I willing to continue being visible about this? Am I willing to continue sharing my voice? Am I willing to shivot, which is my own word for shift and pivot, in the messaging, so that this is about staying committed to the vision of something so that we can transmit it. Understanding that not everybody is going to resonate with it, being detached from that, from certain people that you think are going to resonate with it may not. And it's interesting because those that you think may not resonate with it absolutely do. I'm surprised every day about this. And also thinking back at who I know I'm serving, these visionary women who do have that incredible spark within them, that know they're here meant to do something really profound and healing and magical in the world. And these are women of all ages, from all corners of the globe, and all styles, from those who are incredibly strategic to those who are incredibly like in the divine feminine and very much in their goddess energy. Many of them get it. And so, Alexa, stop. I had a timer going for Skylar. So just a little, I guess, not quite a ramble, but it felt good to share. It felt good to express and be a little more open and behind the scenes about my thought process, the things I move through, the commitment and the choosing again and again to step into the ring, to be in the arena, not the ring like I'm fighting, but in the arena like, and I am. Yesterday I watched a video from an incredible woman I follow called Amanda Ellis on YouTube. She's a channel, and she was channeling the energies of Mary Magdalene. And I have a very strong connection to Mary Magdalene. I wear her. She's with me all the time. And she's been a great teacher of mine over the past couple years. Mother Mary as well. Always Mother Mary has been there, but Mary Magdalene has definitely come through. Mary Magdalene is a very strong presence of the divine feminine. You start, understanding her, and it will change your life if you're looking to tap into the divine feminine energies a little bit more and really understand what they mean for you. And she titled her video that the divine feminine is fighting back. And I found it so interesting because those aren't words that Amanda typically uses, and they're like, whoa. And so as I say all of this, I guess I'll wrap it up with, I don't see it as fighting from a violence perspective. Of course not. But we get to be in the arena. There's no question. We get to choose into our visibility. We get to choose with conviction the things that we believe in, the things that, even if sometimes, a lot of times, they may not make sense because they might be kind of outside of the scope of what we're used to. The programming is very strong, and it's everywhere. The programming of, it's just there. We've grown up with it. And so as we are rewriting and remembering and reawakening, we get to have a sense of conviction, and we get to show up, and we get to rest. And like I've always said, I always have this phrase when I'm like, we get to show up every single day. Sometimes showing up means you're showing up, you're visible, you're in your message, you're writing, you're sharing, you are in the thick of what you're meant to do here. And sometimes showing up means taking a nap. I was taking a nap earlier before Jules went to pick Skylar up. I took a delicious 45-minute nap in bed with Nova. It was amazing. And that for me is also showing up. It's showing up for myself. It's showing up for who I get to be. Resourcing myself, because there's a lot of other things I do throughout the day, and I've learned how to embrace those moments more and more. So we get to show up. And visibility is a core part of all of this, because unless we are willing to speak into existence that which we see as possible, we can't reprogram the world. There's a lot we can do in our inner spaces, right? But if you are being called right now to share some sort of message, to share your gift, your story, your business, something that is very powerful within you that you're like, I gotta talk about this, there's a reason for that. So unlocking that visibility code within you and finding that place where it is safe to be seen, it in your bones, and that you're willing to keep stepping forward with confidence, even if your legs are shaky. And sometimes, like I said in my email today, especially if your legs are super shaky, that's where we get to be right now. And finding that beautiful sweet spot between that inner drive that pulls us forward and that divine wisdom that always brings us back to our center, knowing that we are this vessel of light, of God light, of source light, of goddess light, of just... So thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, shoot me a comment. And we're in this together. We are in this together. I'm sending you love. Mwah. Adios.